Big welcome to you, my dear Capricorn, and of course always a big welcome to all the other zodiac signs that felt like looking into this reading today. The sun has moved into Taurus, and Taurus is the keeper of the earth. Yesterday, on Friday the 22nd, we had Earth Day, and very interesting that the Earth Day started or had two really strong earth signs, which is you, my dear Capricorn, moon in Capricorn, sun in Taurus. So these two bring a value to the planet, bring power and value together. And even though this seems quite intense, this is the earth, this is the dark, this is all those creepy things that can flourish in the dark. And so the church created out of the Capricorn, which was basically the god Pan, the fertility god, the Greek playboy. And he is here showing us that negative things are possible if we allow them. It's not that there is a figure, it's just within us. We have the power to choose between the light or the dark. That's all there is. So Taurus, I gave Taurus the movement of inhale into the sun, exhale, I bring the information from the sun down. I am touching my head, and then I bring it down into the forward bend, which is then also the throat, which we know is connected to the Taurus energy. And it's a movement. I didn't want him to sit on his throne anymore. Three people. I mean, there's 3 times 3. So I wanted them to face each other like he becomes himself the pillar, and we start realizing that within us we have to find a connection between the spirit, the mind, and the body. So here you are bowing down. So here we bow down and understand the Hierophant on a completely different level. You, I gave you the dancer pose, and this card I have to redo again, but it's here also 3 stages. Here again, there's 3 people. And you can only reach through, you are the first chakra, you are the first stage of the 7 stages to the world, to the card number 21. And here's the first chakra, the second, the third, and the heart. So I know that here through the heart we can only then go up into the third eye, and through the third eye you're reaching finally, which is pointing here, the pentagram is pointing to the 6th chakra, and here are the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 that are difficult to overcome because we have to get here. But to jump, you need to use the heart to get into the 7th chakra. So I wanted to choose something like this, but I also wanted to add this chess game that's above you now, in the sky. This is a connection, and I think that I will put this behind there with a mountain, a tip that's perking through that window. The court card for you is the Queen of Pentacles, and she is earth and water, very fertile. The date is the 12th of December and the 8th of January. If your birthday is there, this is your court card. If not, look in the description below. I have listed all the other cards. So the understanding that we have a cardinal sign, which is you begin winter, and we have a fixed sign, which is the center of the spring, which is now, gives us the power to reflect, because when we fixed, we can see things from a different perspective. And the power to know that you can start a project gives you also a certain power and a certain energy. But nevertheless, together they create quite something interesting. And it shows already through the cards that are lying here. Your last reading, when the sun was in Aries, was that you, even the tower, crashes down. The sun was, is, will always shine. And she does always shine, and she is now in Taurus, or we have moved, so we see behind the sun the constellation of Taurus. So dance and drum yourself into a new awe-inspiring cycle. And these were the picture. Last time you had the tower and you had the fool and the drum. And you are the dancer for me, right? You are the one that dances through this difficulty. So I have the first line is the past, then I have the second line is the present, and the third line is the future. And in the past I use very old tarot cards going back to 1889 with Oswald Wirth. And Oswald Wirth, I only pick the 22 major arcanas to get an overall picture for your reading. And the judgment came out, Le Jugement, which is French, the card number 20. And again, 3. There's a theme, 3. 3. But up here's 4. But I saw these 3 and it reminds me that yes, we are attached. Yes, we are ready to be awoken by the guardian angel of ours, because after that the world is yours. So the number 2 is the High Priestess, 0 is the Fool, is a new beginning. In the way you see the world, in the way you are going to operate, in the way you're going to move forward, because you did have the Fool and the Tower last time, and now you have awoken out of that. Out of Rider-Waite, which is 1920, comes the 3 of Pentacles, the Page of Cups, and the 4 of Swords. And they all were part of this brotherhood, the Secret Order of the Golden Dawn, and created the Hermetic Tarot, 1888, 3 times the 8. So Oswald Wirth, Rider-Waite, and Aleister Crowley, which comes after, all were in this brotherhood and created these cards. So going up, or going into now Rider-Waite, and by the way, these cards I didn't shuffle, I picked them so I can show you the meaning of where the sun and the moon and your court card is. And here we get a glimpse into working again the number 3. So there's 3 people, and there are 3 people here. And you love to work, particularly this is Mars in Capricorn, and you love to work. You're young, you're beginning to work, you're beginning to understand your craft from a different perspective, because you have this fish looking out of this cup and looking at you. And this is the young generation, which handles things completely different, which is speaking here of they are very conscious, they are very connected to their subconscious. They are not filled yet with all the stuff that we put into the time that we learn something, and the more and more we learn something, the more we become fixed, like Taurus. And then the Four of Swords is like you pulled yourself back and meditated here. And you have Three Swords here again. And the Fourth Swords is part of this personality that is lying here and resting. It's almost like it's a coffin. It's part of the decoration of the coffin. So in your work, you love your work, you began something, and now you realize mentally you need to pull back from that work because you got the Princess of Swords and the Seven of Pentacles from Aleister Crowley in 1969. Now the Princess is also a page, the same way here, this page, but with swords, with the mind, and all the water signs are in here, and here are all the air signs in it. And the Seven of Pentacles is Saturn in Taurus. And we have Taurus, right? And for you, Saturn, this is your ruling planet. And it's saying here that it's a backlash. There's something coming back to you, but it's more, to me, it's more like you re-evaluating your work. You're re-evaluating all the things that you've done. And you do this through the eyes of the younger generation. And you did this already here. You're re-evaluating your work. You re-evaluating what work means for you, because you're a hardworking personality. You love to work, but only if it makes sense. And this is what you're doing. You're doing something that brings you into the past, checking why, you know, we work so hard. Because this doesn't, it looks very dark, as you can see, right? It looks dark, it looks heavy. And from Hermann Handel comes the Four of Cups and the Six of Swords, 1985. And this is like a mixed happiness. You're happy, but you're not really happy. You're a little feeling entitled that the happiness is yours and you don't have to do anything anymore. And then comes the Six of Swords, and it's saying, no, you gotta learn more. You gotta work more on knowledge in your work. Whatever you do, you gotta learn and continue to grow. Four Swords point up, which is then a stability, which is then pointing at these four. Right, 1, 2, 3, 4, but 2 are coming down. So interesting enough, here are 3 coming down and here 2 are coming down. So maybe you do get less, but you get the month of where the spiritual information is coming down to us. It's that arrow that's coming down, but if you don't go up towards it, if you don't make that effort to go up towards it, which you do have 4 making efforts to understand what is coming down. Very interesting, right? And here you allow to be supported by this 1 sword, and 3 informations are coming down towards you. And then comes the 2 of Cups, a friendship, a really important friendship that you're holding dear, that you're looking at together with a partner. That's why it's Venus in Cancer. And here 4 of Cups is Moon in Cancer. So these are 2 Cancer's energies, and Cancer is opposite of you. You are the winter solstice and Cancer is the summer solstice. So here you are getting together. Then 6 cups. You are being challenged to see love from a completely different perspective, the same way this personality is speaking to this fish. You are challenged to look deeper within. You're challenged to see these 6 swords and these 6 emotions, because it's right in between. So how do you evaluate these emotions mentally? How do you check out that this call is calling you to wake up to what? To friendship, to true love, to a new beginning. And then comes you, right? Again, this I didn't pick. This I didn't shuffle. I picked it to show you this is your court card. So this is all behind you. You're looking down to the pentacle and you realize that the only thing that's worth living for is friendships. Deep, deep friendships that are there for each other, not judging each other, not abusing each other, right? Not doing anything negative to each other. Then comes the present moment with the Creativity Oracle. And it seems like you have here your beautiful house. You're sitting yourself in this garden, lush garden, because you earth and water, everything is growing. And here you stepping up and you want to be part of this energy, the butterfly, the peacock, beautiful energy. 1, 2, 3 birds or insects or flowers, the moon's movement. Reflection. Time to focus, balance, reflect, and guide yourself past stumbling blocks to take the right action. The number 58, which becomes a 13. 13 is Scorpio, is the death card. And of course then the 4, which is Aries. So maybe from the last reading, which was even the tower crashes down and the sun was, is, will always shine. And dance and drum yourself into a new awe-inspiring circle. And now you're reflecting, and now you are sitting here and you are part of this lush energy. Because, I'm going to leave you here because then comes you from another deck, the Queen of Materials. And you are very self-conscious. You're looking at yourself here from a different perspective. Here you're focused on this coin. And now here you're looking at yourself. You're changing your perspective. You're changing something because you reflected on too much looking at the money, even though lovingly. But now you're looking at yourself. You are starting to realize, if I take care of myself, then everything else will come by itself. And this is really beautiful. This is what's speaking to you now. Because then comes the world. The cosmos comes then to you. If you look at yourself and you understand what all is about, you're good. Look at this. The world comes to you once you end this. Once you end looking down and release these old conditionings that are made about you, then you can become this personality. And then you own the world, and then you know that everything is shifting, because then you got the stingray, you got the elk, and you got the black egg. a water sign, an earth sign, and a spirit sign. Water and earth, exactly what I said. Water and earth. The Father, here you grow spine, here you grow an integrity with the chakras. Here you understand that climbing through these chakras, it's you can climb, you a goat, use the heart to climb up into the third eye, into your horns, into the knowledge, which come here through the horns, through the elk, the stingray, the elk, and now the fifth chakra. So it's almost like, well, if you are in the heart, then communication is automatically empowering you, and then you can go up into the third eye. So the stingray developing confidence, sense of self, or spine, eager and wants to grow. And that's what I feel with you. You want to grow, and you have been growing because you have the world, and to be able to hold the world, you have to have spine. You have to have that core energy. Stable, resilient, headstrong, the Father, and supportive, kind, and consistent. The black egg, speaking from an authentic voice, the truth. The black egg and the fifth chakra, this is the subtle essence of the base of the throat at the Vishuddha chakra. Here we govern our speech and expression. Vishuddha translates as especially pure. The balance of the center is important for all of us, but is especially essential for writers, editors, musicians, and teachers. So if you are a teacher or writer or musician, this is speaking to you profoundly, and understand that these two are supporting you. The water and the earth element are supporting you, giving you who you are in your core, giving you then the growth of the earth, so that you can have a voice for the earth, for everything that is on the earth. Because then comes Taurus, right? Taurus here, the Hierophant, Taurus. Three different versions of how we can look at the Taurus energy. You're going up, you're going to the light, you're going to this energy through the sun when you are finding your voice. Because yes, you are in the heart, but now this will automatically be opening up when you come from here to here and you want to go here. This will automatically be opening, because otherwise you wouldn't get the black egg, which is connected to this step. And that's what's coming, because here we get the information. We can go up to the information, or the information can come down to us. And then you have the number 26, a big transformation in your heart, which you need, which you want, because the heart is giving you then the possibility to be that spiritual call that is coming down. It's the same, it's this ladder, it's coming down, the light, the call is coming down. And here you are, you're opening your heart, because you want to go all the way up to the white. You want to go up to this white spot above you. That's what it's all about. And now, the future. You have speaking your word and the voice, and look what's here. A trumpet again. How powerful is this? You have the trumpet so that you can speak the truth all the time. For the future, for the world, for this planet. For this planet, you would do anything because you understand her. You live her. You're with her. You're connected with her. But speak with a loving voice. Don't scold. Don't be harsh. Don't be negative. Don't look into the 7 as something negative. Look at the 7 as something also positive. And learn more. Learn more so that you can have friendships also with opposite energies. Right? So you are holding, the trumpet is calling you, is waking you up, and now here you awakening and finding a new voice, because you get the Knight of Swords, which comes after Taurus, which is a Gemini, and you have evolved from speaking through the young generation, speaking now into the Knight, speaking up for women, speaking up for all those who don't have a voice yet, who you give a voice to, who you climbing up for. You are here to be that strong energy. You are here to give yourself that focus and that balance and the reflection to take the right actions, even though sometimes it's a stumbling block here, which is not really, there's nothing really stumbling here, but it's like maybe this, right? Or this mixed happiness. Like, open up, open yourself up to this call and follow, mentally follow now the happiness into the 9 of Cups, which is giving you an independence in the way you love. The 9 is always completion, is Jupiter in Pisces, is what already has spoken to you here. Pisces, there's a little fish coming out of this little cup. There is already something talking to you, giving you then Cancer energy with the 4, and giving you Cancer energy with the 2 of Cups. And you have moved into the 9 of Cups, into a self-love, into an independence, into a strong voice for those who need this voice. And then comes the Messenger of Water. Then even here you have evolved from the Page into the Knight, and here you have Aquarius, which is after you. Here you will speak the truth, because Aquarius speaks clearly through the black egg. Aquarius is that father figure, is that strong personality. But here you have evolved also to the Knight. You see that? I'm going to put this down. Twice you have evolved from the Page of Swords into the Knight of Swords, and from the Page of Cups into the Knight of Cups. So you have made a big step. You have made a growth cycle. You have shifted and you have learned and you have grown and have become a Knight. And this is important that you understand that, because that's why the cards come up for you and say, look deeper. Look at the masculine that can give birth to the babies. And together it shows that here is something moving forward. And then comes the 6, the blade, and again the blades, the one blade that is supporting you here, right? And then here the 6, the knowledge that wants to come to you, that you using The future is already predicting that you have to learn, you always learn, and you want to learn. And then comes the blade and the woodwives, the adaptability, the number 64, which is then a 10, and here is a 20. And you understand what is calling you. You understand what is making you open up into the music, into the voice, and speaking your word. The number 7, right? It's almost like, yes, allow this knowledge to help you. And now allow that. There's no other 7, I'm just looking. Allow that you have knowledge of the work you've done. But now let it go. Let it go and start fresh and see the blade as a message, as a mental message that's speaking to you with the moon cycle inside. You are invited to draw your blade and use it. It is not auspicious to hesitate, to waste time in idle talk, or to hide from the inevitable. Heaven and earth are aligned to support you in claiming your power, so take decisive action. Overcome your fear of hurting others. Unsheath the blade and use it wisely. And I have from Vilolo the Shaman's Dream Oracle. And it's the last card, 64. Adaptability, strong roots, and growth. The woodwife stands into your dreams as a reminder to be grounded no matter what life offers you. You need to know who you are, what you'll tolerate, what you've learned to date, and what boundaries to set so you feel good about yourself. Life is going to offer you something extraordinary now, and in order to learn and receive its blessings, you must remember that being grounded gives you more freedom, not less. Wow. You have everything you need. You have all it takes to do this right now. If you also keep reminding yourself to be flexible, you will be amazed by how well things play out for you. The woodwives are both wisdom keepers and students of the new world, as these forest spirits have an uncanny ability to adapt to changing circumstances and always find the perfect way to grow and expand. They represent what you already know how to do. Learn. Learn, that's the 6 of Swords. Learn through Aquarius. Learn to go into the Aquarian age. Learn, be in beginner's mind. Let go of your rigid notions of how things should be and be present to what is right now, unencumbered by your projections. Is there a storm brewing because things need to change? No worries. Nothing can uproot you now, and it will pass, and you will dance with nature and move with it all. Perhaps you're being given an opportunity to take a chance on something new, and you're not sure how far you can go without losing your footing. Have no fear, for when you remember your roots, your integrity, your authentic self, you can stretch yourself beyond the invisible line you drew. Go for it. You will be so glad you did. Learning in the age of Aquarius is calling here. The age of Aquarius is calling to ground yourself in the new territory, in the new world that is happening, that you have control over, because you are water and earth, and you have the right mindset. You have grown from a page into a messenger. You have grown from a princess or from a page into a knight. So you have done the work. You have gone and pulled yourself back mentally. You have reflected on your success. You have looked back into this work that you did with others. And you have here the friendships that are dear to you. And this is opening you into the transformation, into the biggest transformation there is, and that is your heart, that is loving yourself, that is being there with yourself, and knowing that this call is always there. This call is here so that you can become independent and happy, emotionally independent and happy, the Nine of Cups. And of course, then the blade and this wood wife's dream that is coming to you. Wow, so cool. So I hope I see you in the next reading, because the Knight of Swords is already here. The sun is gonna go into Gemini. Until then, I thank you so much for being with me. Namaste.